Okay, welcome to these sessions on sound intensity. Before we start doing the sound intensity, we need to learn a little bit of exponential and algorithms. So to first start off, actually the whole session here now is divided into two parts. Okay, the first part is actually the exponential law. For those who have taken A-Maths before, you should be very familiar with the laws that's governing in these sessions. So let's first start off. In total, there are 5 exponential laws that you need to know about it, which is not too hard. Okay, it's pretty simple. The first one is very simple. If you have a number, say it's 3, and you make it to the power of 0, so exponential simply means that this is the exponential, the power. Okay, so if it's 3 to the power of 1, it simply means 3. 3 to the power of 2 simply means 3 times 3. 3 to the power of 3 will be equals to 3 times 3 times 3. So of course, for human beings, it's very difficult for us to understand what we mean by 3 to the power of, say, 2.5. Alright, so it's very difficult for us to do that. In fact, it's quite easy for us if we understand in this manner. So say 3 to the power of half, it simply means square root 3. Okay, 3 to the power of 1 quarter, it simply means cube root of 3. That's what it means under the exponential in this case. Alright, so if we have 3 to the power of 2.5, simply all we need to do is actually 3 to the power of 25 over 100. So simplifying this is 3 to the power of 1 quarter, which is equals to 4th root of 3. So this is basically the understanding of exponential. Now, the next step here in exponential law is to understand what is 3 to the power of 0. Now, by default, in mathematics, we understand this as 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So what about minus 5 to the power of 0 is equals to 1? What about 1 million to the power of 0 is still 1. Now, just for a take, what is 0 to the power of 0? Okay, this is for you to find out what is 0 to the power of 0. Is it 0 or is it 1? 0 or 1? Okay, so we will answer this in the questions in your working. All right, so let's go on to the next one under the exponential law. The exponential law. So we have covered that anything which is x, any variable to the power of 0 is equals to 1. Okay, next is the inverse, which means to say what happens if you have this x. Okay, I don't use x, I will just use a normal number, which is say 2 to the power minus 1 is actually equals to 1 over 2. 3 to the power minus 1 is equals to 1 over 3. Okay, now next going on for 2 to the power minus 2 is simply 1 over 2 square. Okay, which is equals to 1 over 2 times 2. Okay, 3 to the power of minus 3 is equals to 1 over 3 cube, which is equals to 1 over 3 times 3 times 3. So far so good. Okay, alright, so this is the next step that we have learned inside here. So we have learned two things: x to the power of 0 is equals to 1, and x to the power of minus a, where a is an integer, is equals to 1 over x to the power of a. Alright, okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, what happens if you have a power to a power? Say for example 2 to the power of 2, and you bracket it to the power of 3. So what it means here, if you were to open up, is 2 to the power 2 by definition is 2 times 2. Alright, so and this whole thing has to be equals to the power 3, which means to say this whole thing got a times 3 times 2 times 2 multiplied by 2 times 2 multiplied by 2 times 2. So which means to say how many 2's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 6 times 2 to the power 6. So to keep things easier, isn't this the multiplications of 2 and 3? So 2 to the power of 2 bracket 3 is equals to 2 to the power 2 times 3, which is equals to 2 to the power 6. So far so good? Okay, so these are the laws you need to memorize, remember, alright, and know how to use it. Because later on, when we're going to introduce to you intensity, which is always in the exponential form, you know how to manipulate those formulas and figures, okay, using all the laws that's provided here. So summarize so far, we have learned x to the power of 0 is equals to 1. X to the power of minus a is equal to 1 over x to the power a. Alright, x to the power a bracket to the power b is equals to x to the power a b. Okay, so that's good. Three things already. 1, 2, 3. Let's go on to the next one. In total, we need to learn 5 of this. Okay, what happens if you have an exponential which is say 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4? Okay, so it is equivalent to 2 times 2 times 2, which is 3 of this, multiplied by 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 4 of this. So 3 of this, 4 of this, in total there are 7 of this. So this is equivalent to 2 to the power of 7, because you multiply by 3. Now students are always confused between this and this. They are not equal. Alright, okay, because this is equals to 3 times 4. This is equivalent to 2 to the power 12, not to the power 7. Okay, so this is very important for you to take note inside here. Okay. Alternatively, okay, you need to understand that they have to have a common base here. If the base is not common, no way this formula can be done. That means there's no such, you can't do this. 2 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 3. Alright, there's no, cannot apply formula. So what's so good? Okay, we only need 5 of this for the exponential law, and we have another 5 for the logarithm laws. So far we have covered 4. Okay, so the first one, x to the power 0 is 1, x to the power minus a is equals to 1 over x a. Alright, then what we have is x to the power a to the power b is equals to x a dot b, and x to the power a times x to the power b is equal to x to the power a plus b. So that's so good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go to the last one. The last one for exponential is actually a division. Okay, to make it simpler, it's easier to understand it in this way. X, okay, I don't use x. I will use number 2. 2 to the power 2 over 2 to the power of 3. Now, we can rewrite this because under our second rule, remember, x to the power of a is equal to 1 over xa. So in this case, we have 1 over 2, 3. This is equivalent to 2 to the power minus 3, right? So in this case, let's substitute this thing. Let's replace this thing with 2 to the power minus 3. So it will be 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power minus 3. And when you apply the previous formula that we have, okay, xa times b equals to xa plus b. So you see the x here is 2, the a here is 2, the b here is minus 3. So even this equals to 2 to the power 2 minus 3, 2 to the minus 1, and we apply the formula, this formula again. Okay, this equals to 1 over 2. And so far so good. So these are the 5 formulas that we're going to learn. So let me recap the laws of exponential again. So these are the exponential law. Okay, so let's go on to the first one. So x to the power 0 is 1. X to the power of minus a is equals to 1 over x to the power a. X to the power a to the power of b is equals to 1 over, sorry, my mistake. It should be x to the power of a times b. Okay, next, x to the power of a times x to the power of b is equals to x to the power of a plus b. Alright, similarly the whole thing applies when x equal to a over x equal to b is equals to whatever below become minus, so it's x equal to a minus b. Okay, so these are the indices law, okay, or the exponential laws that applies inside here. Alright, so take some time and evaluate this. Make sure you have a good practice. Try some of the exercise that I'm going to attach at the end of this video and see whether you can get the answer correct or not. Okay, thanks for watching. So this is the part 1 of exponential law.